So I just want to thank everybody again for joining us tonight. As Rich mentioned earlier, it's a big night for us because of the merger of the two firms. So we're glad that you could all join us. And I know it's late, and I'm only going to hold you hostage for maybe another 20 minutes or so. I'm going to try to keep it short for you. And I had this great presentation already, but then, Rich and Liz both said that I'm going to be talking about stuff I had no plans on talking about. So now I have to change up my entire presentation, and it'll probably make no sense whatsoever, but I'll try to cover everything that they didn't cover in 20 minutes. They say the best for last, but now I'm not really sure about that because either people are going to be sleeping because they're tired, or I don't know. So we'll see how this goes. So I'm going to be talking briefly about what elder law is and why elder law is not just about the senior population, and why it's not just about the law. So even though we refer to the practice area as elder law, I really wish it was called something different because, again, it's not just about the senior population. It starts with planning, and we have to start planning when we're young, planning for our retirement and for long-term care costs. People are living so much longer, and it's becoming so much more important to start that planning earlier in order to try to have enough money to retire with and try to have enough money to pay for our long-term care costs. It's like families, when the first child's born, they want to try to start saving for college so that the kid's college education is paid for. But understandably so, things come up throughout life that prevents us from saving for retirement, saving for long-term care costs, things like that. Maybe we have a child with special needs that requires a lot of our resources, so we're not able to save as much as we would have liked to. Part of what an elder law attorney does is discusses options with you about how to plan for your long-term care costs, how to plan for your retirement, how to plan if you have a special needs child, for example, so that child or that other family member is taken care of financially or otherwise long after you've passed away. So, what is elder law? Elder law is the legal practice of counseling and representing older persons, people with disabilities, their representatives, and families about a wide range of different aspects. Healthcare decisions, legal capacity, public benefits, veterans benefits, housing options. But elder law is not about my suit. It's not about how many cases I have. It's not about how much money you have. It's about family. Maybe you have a son who's a plumber who fixes your sink. Or maybe your daughter is a nurse and she answers your health questions for you. Maybe your sister is a teacher and she helps you solve that math equation. Maybe your grandfather was a mechanic and changes that tire or changes the oil in your car. We rely on people in our family every day. As part of your family, you entrust me to use the things that I've learned to help you answer your legal questions. It has to be that close of a relationship. Otherwise, your lawyer or your elder law attorney is just an acquaintance, just like the painter or contract you hire to do a job. When's the last time you had breakfast with your car repairman? If you're going to entrust your estate or talk to somebody about living options and how to pay for ongoing care, you want to have that person be somebody you're going to sit down and have breakfast with. Somebody that you trust, like a family member. Someone who's going to listen to you and advocate for you. So, who is your elder law attorney? Your elder law attorney is your advocate when you feel like you're being taken advantage of. Maybe one of your children intimidates you into moving closer to them because it's more convenient for them and you don't want to say no to them. Or maybe that child intimidates you and you don't want to say no to that child who wants a loan from you. So your elder law attorney can help you explore options, such as maybe a voluntary conservatorship. Liz mentioned briefly about conservatorships, and a lot of people seem to be afraid of conservatorships. But conservatorships can actually serve an important role in a lot of people's lives, because a conservatorship can give an individual, even if you have full capacity, it could give you some protections and kind of protect you from yourself. So, for example, you have that child that you're afraid to say no to because you're afraid that maybe they're not going to come visit you anymore. With a voluntary conservatorship, you could go to the probate court and ask for somebody to be appointed as your conservator. You can choose that person, and that person, maybe it's another child, maybe it's another family member, they're going to be able to speak for you. And if you're afraid to say no to the other family member, your conservator can say no for you. So your elder law attorney can help give you a voice. Or maybe your elder law attorney is an advocate in an involuntary conservatorship proceeding. Maybe one of your children is filing an involuntary conservatorship proceeding in the probate court because they think you can no longer make decisions for yourself. They don't think you have the capacity to make informed decisions. So your elder law attorney, again, can give you a voice in the probate court so that they could speak for you when you don't think that you need a conservator. Your elder law attorney may be your advocate when you're the child of a parent who has dementia or Alzheimer's, and that parent hasn't done some advanced planning and doesn't have a power of attorney in place or doesn't have healthcare proxy in place. So there's nobody with legal authority to make financial or healthcare decisions for you. So it may become necessary for your child to go to the probate court and ask to be appointed as your conservator, and maybe the elder law attorney is representing the child in that proceeding, giving the child the voice so that the child can get the authority that they need in order to make healthcare decisions or financial decisions for you. Who is your elder law attorney? Your elder law attorney may be like a social worker. A lot of times there's deep-rooted family problems, and you may be reconsidering how you want to distribute your assets upon your death. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a trained social worker, and I suspect that many elder law attorneys are not trained social workers either. But there's a big interplay between legal aspects and social aspects when it comes to elder law. So a lot of times I feel like I'm just as much of a social worker as I am a lawyer, because we're dealing with many different aspects of your life. Your finances, your health, family relationships. Maybe you have a child that's estranged that you think about disinheriting, but you can't get over the hurdle that all of your children should be treated equally. So your elder law attorney can help work through that and help you balance your feelings with your legal options and things that you may not have even considered, and still being able to leave an inheritance for that child, but maybe in a different form, maybe in the form of a trust, or maybe with a separate beneficiary designated account or something like that. Who's your elder law attorney? I was going to say family law attorney because sometimes I feel like a family law attorney also. Who's your elder law attorney? It's the family peacemaker. The bottom line is families don't get along. As much as we think that we have the perfect family and everybody gets along and everything is wonderful as we're sitting around the Thanksgiving table, at one point, every single family doesn't get along. And many times, children get along for the sake of their parents, but as soon as there's an incapacity of one or both parents or death, that's when the boxing gloves come out. The kids it's just terrible. Who's your elder law attorney? Maybe your children disagree about whether you should have hospice care or not. And you've spoken to one of your children, but not the other. Your elder law attorney might be, again, the voice for your child so that they can represent your best interests to make sure that what you want, your wishes, are honored. This one's going to sound a little strange to you, but who's your elder law attorney? Maybe a minor child inherited money from their parent who didn't leave a will, and their aunt is the person in charge of managing that money and is mismanaging that money. So maybe the elder law attorney, and I'll explain that a little bit in greater detail in a minute. So maybe the elder law attorney is representing that minor beneficiary to make sure that that minor child's inheritance is properly being managed. Why would it be an elder law attorney? As I'll show you in a minute, estate planning and elder law often go hand in hand. One of the things that elder law attorneys do is estate planning, estate administration. So we might be representing people of all ages. And again, that goes back to my statement at the beginning, saying that elder law isn't just about senior population. It covers a wide range of age groups. Who's your elder law attorney? Again, family peacemaker. Maybe one of your children wants you to go into a nursing home and you don't want to go into a nursing home, you want to stay home. Your elder law attorney can help to support your decision, can help you to discuss your options, and can help you find caregivers that you can have in order to keep you home. What are some things that you may not know about elder law? Elder financial abuse is probably just as prevalent as child abuse. However, child abuse is reported much more often than elder financial abuse. In 2011, there was a study done by the MetLife Mature Market Institute. The annual financial loss by victims of elder financial abuse was $2.9 billion. And a lot of that money is never recovered for a number of reasons. We have adult protective services in Connecticut. Cases are opened. to investigate these elder financial abuse cases. However, a lot of times what happens is the victim, so the senior, doesn't want to pursue and doesn't see the need to move forward with the investigation, so Adult Protective Services has to close the case. It's unfortunate. The other reason that a lot of this money is never recovered is because of the cost of trying to do so. If I had won the lottery, well, if I had played, first of all, and won the lottery, then that would be my pro bono work, would be to help recover this money in elder financial abuse, because I just think it's a huge problem. So what do we do about the elder financial abuse? There's ways to prevent it. Again, setting up, pre-planning, making sure people are in place that we trust. What else may you not know about elder law? Medicaid, or Title 19, is not just for the payment of skilled nursing care. It could also pay for home care services. So depending on your functional eligibility and your financial status, you may be able to stay home and still receive public benefits, Title 19, to help pay for your care in the home. Rich touched on this before. Online estate planning documents. Many times, online documents, it's a one-size-fits-all type of arrangement. Every single person in this room is different from the person sitting next to them, different from the person sitting across the room in some way. Your estate plan deals with sensitive healthcare decisions, but also your hard-earned money. So why would you want to leave your estate planning to a one-size-fits-all online document system? Medicare versus Medicaid. They're not the same animal. Medicare is health insurance for seniors and disabled individuals. Medicaid is a public benefit. It's needs-based to help pay for skilled nursing care and home care services. Elder law attorneys are looking to keep up with the ever-changing laws, and those laws affect long-term care planning, public benefits, keeping on top of the funding of these programs. So earlier this year, there was a question as to whether a qualified Medicare beneficiary was going to be eliminated because of funding. And what that is it's for low-income individuals, their Medicare Part B premiums are paid for, giving you more money in your Social Security check. Well, the funding was going to be reduced, so there was a question as to whether or not that benefit was going to be available, and that was going to adversely affect many people. Also, there was a recent change to veterans benefits. There are a lot of really good veterans benefits available for assisted living, for home care, and there never used to be a look-back period. So you could transfer assets to your kids or to somebody else and become eligible for these veterans benefits without any look-back. You could do it today, and tomorrow be eligible. Well, they recently changed the laws with respect to the veterans benefits, so now there's a 36-month look-back period. So these are the types of things that an elder law attorney would be keeping on top of because they could affect public benefits to which you might be entitled. Another thing you might not know about elder law, it can be very complicated. As Rich mentioned briefly, some people say, all I need is a simple will, all I need is simple. It's really simple. If you go away with one thing tonight, please do not listen to your neighbors. Okay. Your neighbors may tell you that you need a trust or you need to transfer your house to your children because that's what they did. Please talk to an attorney about the implications of doing that because, as I said a couple seconds ago, you're different from the person sitting next to you, from your neighbor, and from everybody else, and everybody's personal goals, financial situation, health situation is different. As you saw in the first slide, that kind of gave an overview of elder law. Elder law does not deal with just a single area of law. Elder law attorneys take a holistic approach. We look at the legal, the financial, health, your family relationships, maintaining autonomy, quality of life, and most importantly, meeting your personal goals. It's not necessarily all about the money, and it's not black and white. A lot of elder law issues are very time sensitive. That's why advanced planning is very important. If you plan ahead, then at least you know and you can have peace of mind that you have people in place to act for you when you're no longer able to make decisions for yourself. So who should see an elder law attorney? Anyone that's concerned about either their own or a family member's financial, legal, or health well-being. So that's probably everybody in this room in some form. So what's the difference between an elder law attorney and an estate planning attorney? Not all elder law attorneys are estate planning attorneys. Not all estate planning attorneys are elder law attorneys. A traditional estate planning attorney deals with wills, trusts, incapacity documents, powers of attorney, healthcare proxies, estate and trust administration, tax planning. And an elder law attorney, like myself, I do the traditional estate planning, but in addition, I do public benefit eligibility, Medicaid, Medicare, veterans benefits, conservatorships, disability planning. Liz briefly talked about special needs trusts, so planning for a disabled child, how to ensure that a special needs child or special needs family member is going to be taken care of when you're no longer able to take care of them because of a death or disability. Talk about asset protection. Rich mentioned asset protection, and so that goes along with the long-term care planning. What do we need to do to try to protect our assets in case we end up needing to go into a nursing home so that we're not paying $14,000 a month to a nursing home, for example. But I don't want to take the wind out of Liz's sails or Rich's sails. It's not to say that they don't know the ins and outs or basics about the elder law, public benefits, and conservatorships and things like that. It's just that they don't, they know enough to be dangerous, but I just delve further into the eligibility planning, and I keep on top of the long-term care, the Medicaid rules, public benefit rules in that interplay. So remember, it's not about the suit. It's not about the cases. It's about you. It's about family. Your elder law attorney should be there to guide you, to advise you, to advocate for you, to support you, to understand you, to care, to listen, and to explain the law. So many of my clients become part of my family. As Rich said before, I'm passionate about the elder law practice. There's clients that I'll call from time to time or email to check in on them to see how they're doing. Because again, they've become part of my family. As your elder law attorney, it needs to be somebody you rely on and trust, just like you would trust your own children. So I think we're going to take some questions. If anybody has questions, we'll have Rich and Liz come up. But again, I want to thank you all for coming tonight. And if we could have Liz and Rich come forward, then we'll take some questions. But thank you.